Franny K. Stein, Mad Scientist. Book 7, The Frandidate Chapter 1, Franny's House. The Stein family lived in a pretty pink house with lovely purple shutters down at the end of Daffodil Street. Everything about the house was bright and cheery. Everything, that is, except the upstairs bedroom with the tiny round window. Behind this window was Franny's room, which was also her laboratory, her mad scientist laboratory. Franny wasn't your average mad scientist. Franny wasn't planning to take over the universe, or galaxy, or even the world. Franny thought that maybe she should want to take over the world, being a mad scientist and everything. But it seemed wrong to her somehow. It was tempting, of course. If she were in charge, she knew she could use her genius to do all sorts of great things that people wouldn't let her do now. Like if she added a pinch of kangaroo DNA to human cells, we wouldn't need cars anymore. And if she made everybody's whole kitchen a microwave oven, they could just set the table, press a button, and everything would cook all at once. Or she could go ahead with her plan to just squirt the sunscreen directly on the sun itself, so we wouldn't have to wipe it on ourselves all the time. And if she ever decided to take over the world, she knew nobody would be able to keep her from doing it. She could have used her chimpo fire to turn everybody into monkeys that she could easily control with a few bananas. Or she could have simply used her Steiny Heidi ray to make everybody's butts so big they couldn't get out of their chairs to stop her. And it would have been easy as pie to just turn everybody into a pie, which often made Franny wonder what she was thinking when she invented a machine that could turn people into pie. She supposed it was probably something she had made for her lab assistant, Igor. She was always making things like that for him. Igor was a great lab assistant. Of course, he wasn't a pure lab. He was also part poodle, part chihuahua, part beagle, part spaniel, part shepherd, and possibly part some kind of weaselly thing that probably wasn't even a dog. Whatever Igor was, he really liked pie. And whatever kind of mad scientist Franny was, she wasn't the type that would take over the world. Not by force. That would be wrong. Chapter 2, Ouchie Couchie. Franny was getting ready for school, and Igor was nowhere to be found. Franny didn't really need Igor's help to get ready, but it was a good idea to keep track of what he was up to. She peeked around the corner and saw him watching his favorite TV show, Miss Wizzy Wazzle's Story Time. "Igor," she yelled, "just what do you think you're doing? You know I hate this show, and I think you'll be happier if you hate it too." Franny grabbed the remote and pointed it at the TV. Igor flew through the air and grabbed Franny's arms. wrestling desperately to keep her from pointing the device at the TV. "Let go!" she yelled, and as they grappled for control, Franny pressed a button on the remote. A hot red beam shot from the device and blew a huge smoking hole in the couch and right through the wall behind it. For a moment the two of them stared silently at the smoldering sofa. "That wasn't the TV remote, was it?" she asked quietly. Igor shook his head. "I shouldn't leave things like this lying around." "My couch!" Mom yelled as she ran into the room. "My favorite couch! That couch went with everything. Do you know how hard it is to find a couch that goes with everything?" She looked angrily at Franny and Igor. "Who did this?" Franny's brilliant mind had already formulated a flawless explanation that would prove it was all Igor's fault. Igor knew he would probably get blamed for this, and he just closed his eyes and prayed. Franny's mom stood quietly, staring at Franny. Franny began to open her mouth to pin the whole thing on Igor. But when she looked into her mom's wide, honest eyes, she couldn't do it. She knew what her mom wanted. "It's all my fault, Mom," Franny admitted. "Thank you for telling the truth, Franny. That's what I wanted. You'll still have to figure out a way to replace this couch, but since you told me the truth, I won't punish you." Franny's mom plucked the blaster from Franny's hand. "And let's not leave things like this lying around, okay?" Franny nodded. "Now get your stuff and go to school.